We are off to the job site. Country. Just got done dropping my daughter off at a friend's house. She didn't close her door all the way. All right. We are headed to Lawrence. So for all you other fellow lawn care providers out there, what are you guys doing to get through the winter? For us, we're doing Christmas lights. I think we've doubled our business from last year to this year. It's not quite as much as I would have liked to have done. I think last year we had 20, maybe 18 paid jobs. We had 23, 24 altogether. But to get the business going, I did my in-laws' house for free, my mother-in-law's house, then my sister-in-law's house for free. I did my brother-in-law pastors at 2 churches out here. I did both of his churches. And let me take that back. When I say I did them for free, they paid for the supplies and I hung them for free. So I did 2 of my brother-in-law's churches last year, which was a great deal for them. They paid somewhere around $500 for 2 churches. One, I think both of them are right at 200 foot. So they saved a good deal of money there. And then this year, I rehung my sister-in-law's house for free, and then the 2 churches. My mother and father-in-law, they got permanent lights, so they didn't want the Christmas lights back up. And then I have a lawn care customer who she went through a rough patch. Well, it's rough for her around November, December time frame. So we've done her house last year. We hung her lights for free. Another one of my customers paid for her lights, and then this year we rehung them for free. My customer who paid for her lights last year, probably the best customer we have. He offered to pay for her lights to get hung, and I said, as long as she's living in that house, we'll do them for free. So that's what we'll do. So yeah, that's how that went. So we we rehung everybody but 2. One of the 2 we didn't rehang yet. She moved to California. We knew that it was going to be a one-time install on her house. And then the other customer, I just need to hear back from him. So that way we can get his house on the schedule for this year. And then we have 21 accepted estimates this year. So just doubled our business. which I was hoping to do a little bit more. However, it just, the cards didn't play out that way. So we learned a lot for next year. And the season isn't over yet. So with the snow that is coming, we may go out a couple of mornings and hit pretty hard on door hangers. And see if we can't drum up any new jobs. Hitting the old rumble strip there. This year for LawnCare, even though I left my job in the summertime, I'd still consider what we did this year part-time. We could have really condensed everything down into 3 days. And we've done probably $70K in LawnCare. So far this year, we've ran 10 grand through our CRM. So next month I'll really sit down and look at the numbers, see what we did in gross revenue. These are all gross revenue numbers. We probably got 10 or 15 grand in expenses. So, but next year will be our first full-time year, the whole year. One of the things about having that full-time job, it kind of holds you back a little bit with marketing. You had 40 hours you spent doing one job and then another 20, 25 hours doing another. There's only so much time you have in the week, So we'll hit the marketing a little bit earlier. We did door hangers. However, it was going out for an hour, 2 hours here, an hour, 2 hours there, getting the work done on the weekends. This year, we'll probably be starting. My timing too was a little off last year. We'll probably hit neighborhoods up that I work in probably first week of March, and then come back in 2 weeks and hit them up again with door hangers. A couple of neighborhoods that I work in, it takes about an hour and a half to do all the homes, at least all the single family homes. So I found some new neighborhoods. Doing Christmas lights that I'm gonna try to move into. I'll push. Another thing too, I didn't push too terribly hard during the spring. I ended up with around 15 fertilization weed control customers last year. Next year I want to increase those numbers to at least 50. So we work 5 to 6 applications a year of granular product. We'll work in 1 to 2 sprays next year and try to be out 7 or 8 times. And what that'll look like is in early March we'll do pre-emergent, and what I'll try to do is with the monthly applications, hit the pre-emergent in March, spray for weeds in April, hit the pre-emergent again maybe late April, early May, do a split app, and then June, we'll be doing grub control or a stress mix on the fertilizer. And then July and August, we won't do any. May do some spot spraying, depending on when customers sign up, temperatures, everything like that. Whether they're irrigated or not, that's another big deal. When we're looking at fertilizing in June and July. And then we'll hit back in September with fertilizer application after the summertime, and then overseeding and aerate, and then we'll come back in October and do their winterizer. What I'd really like to do is earmark Mondays for weed control and fertilization. And that'll take care of everybody who isn't on our mowing route. And then obviously if people were on our mowing route, we'll fertilize it. We'll break that up throughout the months, and do a couple of those a day. But I really want to dedicate Mondays to weed control and fertilization. People don't really want people want their yards to look good on the weekend. I may fill up Tuesday too. We'll see how that goes. We'll be looking to hire a fellow this year. Or in 2026 to help us out with the mowing. So I'd like to have 100 weekly accounts. 80 to 100 weekly mowing accounts would be nice, which would probably double or almost triple what we're doing now, and have mowing set up Tuesday through Friday, maybe Tuesday through Saturday. We'll see how it goes. Or if we grow big enough, we could always do fertilization and weed control on Saturdays, make it an easy day. But that's our plans for 2026. I'd like to hit 150 to 200 in revenue next year, and really fill out the schedule so that in 2027, the guy who's helping me out next year, he can step up and be a crew lead, and then I can hire a fella to help him out, and then have a crew out doing the mowing, and then I get out there and do the weed control and fertilization half the day, and work on the business the second half, and see if we can't start filling up a second mow route. So it would be nice to have two trucks going 200 properties, 4 employees. That would be really nice to have, so that way when we get into the fall, I can have a guy or two step off the truck and help out with Christmas lights, and then try to keep people working through November. That will be the plan. And then hopefully we can get up to 5 or 6 trucks running and have our $1 million business. So that teased the goal. We'll see how that goal pans out. Right now I'm gonna make a little pit stop at Casey's and get me a soda pop, which is something I need to quit, but that's a problem for another day. We are done with our Casey's run. Donut and a soda pop. Everybody's worst nightmare just happened. This property that I take care of just got obliterated with little flags marking utilities. Alright, so what you see me doing here is I'm making my rounds in circles to kind of blow all the leaves, well, most of the leaves, to the middle. So our goal here, is really to get as many leaves as we can to the middle, so that way we can run over those leaves with a mower and mulch those into the ground. So you can see here, part of the flag mess that they lit up this property with. We're pulling flags and moving them off to the side so that way we don't hit them and run them over. And then we'll continue on going in circles. One of the things that you didn't see in the video is that I went ahead and tried to blow as many leaves off the driveway, off the road, from around the buildings, patios, sidewalks, things of that nature, into the middle of the lawn. So that way, I could, chop up as many as possible. But you can see here that we're just riding in circles. Our goal is to push as many leaves as we can into the middle. So on this mower, which you obviously can see is a Skag V-Ride 2, I do have mulching blades installed. And then I also have a green guard. So one of the nice things about the green guard is, from a lot of other chute blockers that are out there, is I don't even have to take my hands off the controls to activate it. One of the things for me that I see with most chute blockers that you have to take your hands off the controls to activate, A, they kind of mess up your rhythm with mowing. B, if you're weaving in and out of places, right, it's not necessarily where you can control the mower with one hand and then open and close it. But it's going to be C, where you just create more liability with you, the company, and if you have any employees, you wreck a mower, somebody gets seriously injured, you've opened yourself up to, liability on that. So for me, having a chute blocker where you can just
you don't even have to move your hands. I move my thumb to open and close it. So while you're mowing, you really shouldn't be mowing full speed anyways. It does kind of get in the way of that, but you shouldn't be mowing full speed anyways. Your cut quality goes down. So here you can see that in the flower bed, we didn't really blow any of the flower bed out. I believe I tried to, but I started moving. They have lava rock in there. I started moving that lava rock around, and I wasn't trying to get that mixed up in the lawn and shoot it off and hit somebody. But you can see here that we're just trying to get more of those leaves in the middle. And actually, this may be where I started mulching them up. So once you get them to the middle, or as much to the middle as you can possible, you then want to start mulching them up, and then drive in different directions. So this isn't a perfect solution to a leaf cleanup, but it is a more economical solution. This year, we did not, it wasn't in the cards to get a debris loader. Maybe next year we will get a debris loader. There was another leaf cleanup that we did where we tried to fill up the dump trailer with leaves, and it quickly filled up without even getting half the leaves off of the property, so it's kind of not an option either. So, but what we're doing here is we're just mulching them in. So next year we may get a debris loader. We may not. We just have to see how well next year goes. So we got the dump trailer. Not a big dump trailer, but I mean, you can build sides. You can get 2 lawns, 3 lawns into it, which would be nice. One of the nice things about Lawrence, the town I do a lot of my mowing in, the city, they have a dump. So I think it comes out to, for one company, one truck, it's about $400 a year, where anything, I think it's under like 8-inch diameter limb, and under 4 foot long, you can dump them at the city dump for free. Well, after you pay your bill, your the fee, plus however many trucks you got to put a decal on. So the way it works, I think it's like the fee's between like $200 and $300 for the company. And I think it's somewhere around $100 per truck. And I believe the hours, it's 12-hour operation. You just pull in, scan your badge, gate opens, you go in and you dump. So which is pretty nice. Helps out in situations like this. So my GoPro shut off middle of the way doing this. Well, about 3/4 of the way doing this. Plus I had to go help my wife out. So we had a break in action there. But what I did do, as you can see in that bare spot that I just ran over, instead of leaving all those leaves mulched up there, I came back through with a blower and just try to spread it out a little bit more. So, after you've mulched up all your leaves, then you want to start going, in different directions, north, south, east, west, diagonally, however you want to try to disperse those mulch clippings up. So the nice thing about leaves is they introduce a lot of organic matter into your lawn. They are high in carbon content, but they don't break down the easiest. So mulching them up helps, get that breaking down process started. And then also having a, fertilized lawn further helps those leaves break down. So that nitrogen really helps with the leaves breaking down. So I did some work on this property a couple weeks after this. I did this the day after Thanksgiving, so Black Friday. Uh, had to make the money while my wife was out spending it. But I came back 2 or 3 weeks on the property to do some drainage work, and then also fertilize, do the winter fertilization. So we were a little late. I didn't get any of my early fall fertilization done on time because Kansas was really dry. So we went without any significant rain. Really, probably from middle of August to middle of August to the middle of October, which kind of stinks. I mean, the nice thing about this property is they have irrigation. Which has kind of helped me, break into, irrigation work, which is pretty nice. One thing that would be nice, now that I'm watching the video back, is if there was some type of flag holder. So as I pan over, or you see that spot where I just mulched up the leaves, you can see that it's not perfect, but you've reduced the number of leaves on the lawn, which I don't think any leaf cleanup's really perfect. But the more you can reduce those leaves, the more you can, grind them into the property, the better. I do have a grass catcher for the side of this mower. However, on a floating deck like this, it just tilts the deck one way really hard, and then you end up stair-stepping whatever you're doing. So on this little landing strip here, it was really difficult just to blow everything in the middle, just from the standpoint that, you get that second stripe in, you're blowing those leaves back where you just blew them from. But you can see here that we're mulching them up pretty good. One of the big downfalls to this method is that you do run over the same piece of turf 15 million times. So unless you have a healthy stand of turf, you could wind up damaging it. So, you see where I dropped the motor off the side there. Just went a tad bit too far. I wonder if right there I'm putting the flags back where they were. But yeah, you can see how it did didn't get 100% of the leaves over in that area you're looking at now, but probably got 85-90% of the leaves.
Oh, is it? I think she might use that because of the cold.
So yeah, here I must be putting the flags not over in this little landing strip, but over in that other area. So the reason I think I believe I paused so long.
Well, we wanted the Ninja, didn't we? Because the Ninja floats up on the counter. Well, no, the Ninja floats up on the counter.
So we'll warn you, you won't see the full leaf cleanup here. My GoPro did die halfway through. That's one of the things running the GoPro. I got an older GoPro too, so with videos not really making any money, kind of hard to spend, $300 or $400 on a brand new GoPro with not, understanding how they work and how they do. But with that being said, this GoPro does have its issues. it's stopped recording on me before on that drainage job quite a few times where it stopped recording, and then or it froze up on me. And I had to turn it off and turn it back on. And then I had to repair the file. So, on that video, it may be a lot where I speed it up to go through and just break down, just stop it to do little voiceovers like this and kind of talk you through what I was thinking, what I was doing. So, but if I, kept it full length, that'd probably be a 6-8 hour video. So we'll just explain what we were doing there. Also, I don't know if I mentioned before, but the homeowners of this HOA are tasked with taking care of their flower beds. I did try to blow some of it out, but I'm not gonna blow mulch around, rocks around, things of that nature. So there are a couple of shrubs that I trim up. I did give them an estimate to remove shrubs and replace shrubs. So hopefully we'll get that. Hopefully we'll be able to get started on that work in February. That would be pretty nice. That would be really nice. So here we go, just trying to disperse those leaves up a little bit more. And so it looks like I was putting the flags back up across the street.
Alright, where you at? Alright. Well, let me finish up. Never mind. Give me a minute, I'll come to you. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how much air is in there. Just give me a minute. Over here at once. So, give me a minute. Where you at? I don't, where you at? I know you told me you're just getting on at K10, so I'm thinking you're on K10. Alright. I mean, if you can turn around easily, then yeah. Alright, well, just stay where you're at. Just stay where you're at then. Alright. Bye.
Again, sorry about not being able to get the rest of this video recorded for you guys. This is, where the footage ends, so I appreciate you tuning in and watching. But this area right here, it would be a beast if we blew everything down the hill and then had to suck it up. This is where you would incur most of your costs, but you can see here where I blew off most of the porches and got all that out. So, but thank you guys for watching and have a great rest of your day.